everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a recent reads reviews where I go over 3 of the books that I read most recently and talk a little about them. These are not full-on reviews, it's just a chance for me to give you a quick summary of what I thought of each of these books and give you that quick star rating and see if maybe this is something that you would be interested in reading. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first book I want to talk about is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This one I actually read on my honeymoon, which I thought was very appropriate. This one follows a woman named Olive whose twin sister is getting married, and she is the maid of honor in the wedding, and the best man in the wedding is someone that she really doesn't like. It's actually the groom's brother, and when they go to the wedding they do not partake in a seafood buffet, and everyone at the whole wedding gets sick except for the maid of honor and the best man. So for the honeymoon, the bride and groom had gotten a non-refundable trip to Maui, so they give that trip to the maid of honor and the best man, who hate each other, and so the two of them decide to take it and are determined to continue to not like each other and just avoid each other this whole trip. Obviously this is an enemies to lovers, so you can kind of predict where this story goes, but I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought the character of Olive was really likable and really fun to read about, and I also loved the love interest in this book. I thought their banter was adorable, and the setting of Maui was just so much fun to read about. It's perfect for the beach, perfect for the summer, very predictable but fun to read, and then it does take a turn kind of at the end that I wasn't totally expecting, that is definitely different in tone than the rest of the book, which is kind of why I docked it that 0.5 stars. I wasn't crazy about the ending of this one, but I did think overall it was a really fun read. It gave me what I wanted out of this book, which was just a fun enemies to lovers story in a really fun setting. Next book I wanted to talk about was Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. This one follows a girl named Georgette who is the youngest sibling in her family and is the only one in her family that is not a part of the family business of flipping homes. Instead, she is the town clown and she does entertainment at children's birthday parties. She actually had a crush on one of her older brother's best friends growing up, who in turn went on to be a Major League Baseball player. His name is Travis. Travis, the baseball player, does get injured while playing and has to retire early, comes back to his hometown and is kind of in this funk. So Georgette takes it upon herself to get him out of that funk, and this becomes definitely a like friends to lovers romance. I actually gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I know that there are going to be mixed opinions on this one because judging by the cover, you think you're going into just this cute and fluffy little romance. It is not that. It is very explicit. There is a lot of sex in this book that is described in very graphic detail, so this is definitely more smutty than I was expecting. But I personally loved it. I thought it was well done. I know that some people will also complain about the main male lead in this book, Travis. I personally really loved him, but I can totally see the other side of people not loving him, and so I don't know. It's tough because I personally, this for me was one of my favorite romance reads of the year, but I can definitely see why it would rub some people the wrong way. So if you're looking for something a little more explicit out of your romances, I would recommend this one. And the character of Georgette is just, she's the cutest character to read about. I mean, she's a clown, so she's just so much fun to read about, such a unique female lead character, and I just loved the whole build up in this romance and the banter. That's my favorite part of the romance genre, is the build up and kind of that banter that happens before, you know, the big climax. No pun intended. And this book just did it so well. I was just smiling the whole time like an idiot and just flipping through the pages so quickly because I just wanted more of their relationship. So I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but if you maybe don't mind reading about characters that are a little bit more forward and explicit, then I definitely do recommend this one. And it's just such a cute romance. I loved it. I loved it. The last book I wanted to talk about that I recently finished is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the third and final book in the Illuminae Files series. So this series as a whole, if you don't know what it is, it's a sci-fi series that takes place in space. It follows several different characters who are all kind of fighting for survival and experiencing these different tragedies in space, and all at the hands of this really corrupt corporation that kind of is the government in this future. So it's really, really fast paced, and it's all told through these like files and emails. So it's not like the traditional reading experience, because you've got sections of like surveillance videos and emails back and forth and chat windows and such. I loved this series overall. My favorite in the series was Illuminae, just because it was the first time having this reading experience, these different types of mediums to read in. I thought it was just so cool, and the character in Illuminae is my favorite character in this universe. Obsidio was a good final conclusion to that story. I think they did really well with it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars versus Illuminae and Gemina. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I thought Obsidio, while it was a strong conclusion, it was just at times very confusing, because it was kind of bringing together all of these different characters that we had read about in the first and second books, and then introduced even more characters in the third. So it was at times like a little jarring to switch between those characters' perspectives and try to keep track of everything, especially since it's not told in the traditional writing like novel format. So again, I do recommend this series as a whole. I thought it was a great series that will go down as one of my favorite sci-fi series that I've read. I haven't read a whole lot, so it's not saying too much, but it really is great. Even if you're not a huge sci-fi person, I'm personally intimidated by a lot of sci-fi books. This one is like a good introduction to sci-fi, because it's more like young adult, so it's targeted towards younger audiences, even though I, as an older adult, really still enjoyed it. So it's like a good introduction to sci-fi. It's nothing that's too hardcore where you're gonna be like, I don't get this at all. And those are the 3 most recent books I've read. I also recently read Where the Crawdads Sing, but I want to do a full review of that one because it's so good. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And until next time, bye.